What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video. As promised, bringing you guys the Madflex versus Jay the Nitewing review. I just thought it was a good enough battle to get another review. I returned to Jay, which was something I was excited for, and they did give him an extremely competitive op in Madflex, who's one of the best at King of the Dot, really one of the more underrated right now in battle rap. So what you get with that is a battle where the pen potential is high, as well as some of the other aspects of battle rap that, particularly when it pertains to Jay, where he has such a unique style, he just has a way of pulling off different facets of battle rap in a very unique way. I feel like he did that in this battle with Flex matching him, so you get a really good competitive battle with tons of talking points to break down. So without further ado, let's get right into the first round. So first round of this battle starts on Jay, and similar to what Madflex is going to do at the start of his first round, there's a bit of a Pat tribute in the beginning, a bit of a slow build-up, and then eventually gets, into rapping directly at Madflex with the, now that I got Peter out of the way, I'm targeting Brian. Thought that was cool. It's like a griffin. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I like that. So that was good. And then you get into this part about the first, where this is the only round I feel like Jay really does this, where we know when it comes to setups, he'll either go a long time with a multi, he'll take his time and be very methodical with it. He'll be sneaky about it, right? Which you'll see a few different ways that he does one-of-one things, right? That I'll say over and over again, one-of-one. Very original, but he has this very long build-up. But it gets to a cost of living, puts you in a coma and show you that the cost of living is way more expensive. That was crazy. Talk about the cost of living in California. It took a lot to build up to that, but it built up to like an emphatic haymaker. From there, he said, bitch, you just had one job, like it came with a pension. Thought that was dope. So now he's starting to hit it. First half of his first is slow burn Jay, but after that haymaker, I'm probably the first Samoan y'all ever met, and for him, I'm going to be the last one. So really good first, good first from Jay, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that he goes on to give you really good rounds later, but gives you some peaks, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of, like I said, that slow delivery, that kind of, I think, is what people got a little tired of with, just overly doing it, but then by the end, he does enough to make it, a sustainable round. But Madflex's first, pretty much his best round of the battle. He starts with his own Pat tribute into a joke. Hey, yo, so what the fuck does a Nitewing do? Kind of joking on his name. And then from there, he's a Jay-Z, blood running through a blue IV bar. I thought that was cool. It was okay. But then he has him a factor in the 6, like 2 times 3. I like that. Hits a little bit of a dry spot after that, in my opinion. It's always great rapping with Madflex. But just didn't think he was landing anything of too substantial content. Couple of clever flips in there, but then he gets back into talk about Jay as a mechanic. The belt, with the belt and tension, the belt has tension. I thought that was dope. The Will and Jado, why can't, if you're Will and Jado, why can't we swing? I've heard a lot of, Will and Jada swing bars, but that was pretty cool. Then his performance bars is really what got Madflex this round, in my opinion. He's like, I was there when you told Loso for 5 minutes, kind of playing on Loso choking in that battle, right? It talks about the J bar, make the floor. I don't know if y'all hear my dog walking in here. The J bar about make the floor. And he's like, he gonna have to make the floor, stop spinning. By then, I thought he pretty much won the round. I like that. The sweetest Samoan since the Girl Scout cookie. Thought that was cool. Donate wing to the hospital was like a doctor was fire. And then the worst wingman bar, pulling in organic. So Madflex actually does cover a lot of ground here in this first round. I just felt like he had a more complete round. Matched him on the peaks, but just had more material in general. So, as you can tell by my synopsis, I did end up giving Madflex that first round clear. And then on to the second round, which I love this second round from Jay. Probably my favorite round of the battle, although, I think both of them turned it up a lot in the third too. But he has a little rebuttal about the factor 2 times 3, the 6 factor bar. He must have not seen what I did to Sick. 6, so the little wordplay there I thought was cool, not crazy. You wasn't recognized in life, so your death won't be nothing new. Sly line that he delivers, laid back, but so effective. Kind of that just quick little writing that Jay does, where it almost catches you late, and it's like, oh shit. So it's like I don't know how to put it, like a slow burn type of bar, right? From there, the found matter, like Greek philosophers, thought that was dope. You bow wow on the wing. Nah, this not the flex, you not the flex they thought you were. Well, when Bow Wow was, faking on the plane, I thought that was crazy. And then he gets into the Nitty screenshot bar angle, where Madflex went on Twitter a little bit back after Nitty had the screenshot bar versus Fonz. Talked about he had it first. I think it was versus Johnny Storm is who he wrapped it against. But, you know, saying that he wrote it first. He kind of should be getting the credit for it in a sense. It was a little more detailed, you know what I'm saying, like put together better than that. But he's able to bring that around for an angle here. Starting with a little bit of comedy, like, oh, Madflex was at his phone, like, you won't get away with it. And then from there, there's a flip of Nitty's slogan kind of onto him with the, I'll read the letter of his suicide while I do the job. Talk about he'll kill Madflex, read the suicide letter. We all know Nitty's slogan with the suicide. The way he wrapped that together was crazy. And kind of like plays a few topics out of that. And that's the interesting part about Jay angling, is the angle doesn't, while he works this angle to the end of the round, he bounces on topics within it, right? So then he talks about how Madflex feels like he kind of plays on Madflex deserving that thinking he deserves more battle rap wise in terms of, you know, exposure, shine, right? And then he has, I'll give you your first headline ever in the newspaper. So he's angle punching all through, working this angle, and it's landing heavy. What you're saying doesn't matter if you don't. Blunt lines like that. And that's kind of the thing of Jay, is there's not, some of these lines, right, are the wordplay, like the newspaper joint, right? That's how you set up a basic battle rap punch nowadays. But that, if what you're saying doesn't matter if you don't, and granted, I think Madflex matters, but the concept of how he's working the angle, very blunt. It's really a talking to you type of bar. You want your flowers? Take some of mine, since they think I don't deserve them anyways. Substance, man. Like, this is this second is really why it's so good to see Jay back in form like that. And then to wrap the whole angle back around, he said, and you gave me an angle in that week by tweeting like that, so please stop, because you could have had the power holding down your own volume like a screenshot. So wraps it all back around to the bar. Extremely masterfully done. And Madflex has a pretty cool second. Every time Smack name pops up, it says what might have been, the Bill and Ted bar, do the one thing you'll always do as a mechanic and fuck up this classic. I thought the way he set up that was clever. Even the JavaScript bar. So Madflex is a cool second. But Jay the Nitewing had a masterful second that starts out great just by him rapping great. And that whole angle execution, to me, it just shows like the level of skill that he has. And as I've said over and over again, and I'll say with Jay, when it comes to an angle like that, he's one of really maybe the only people that can execute it that specific way. Extremely clever, extremely impressive round, and I had both of them taking a round clear and had it 1-1 going into the third. And the third round of this battle is also very fire. Jay starts out in the third talking about his grandmother who died, you know what I'm saying, rest in peace, and talking about how people from the culture, for her to be have her funeral back home, sponsored it so it could happen, which I don't know who he was referring to, but I think that's, you know what I'm saying, real stand-up shit and a great way to open it. And he said, I'll never forget that. And y'all know I'd be forgetting a lot of shit. So he even wraps a little bit of comedy into the feel-good moment. From there, said, really gets into philosophical Jay, right? And he did this in his third versus Tank. Few different third rounds that he's had in battle rap, right? Where we know Jay can tend to get on like the deeper side in terms of what he's rapping about, which I thought his second had substance in terms of attacking. But this round, while it does have stuff that goes at Madflex, is more of a message type of round. So y'all had to beg, talking about the battle rap missing its feel in a sense, and saying y'all had to beg the mechanic and come back because you're not fixing these cards. I think it was like a wordplay on cars and cards, but even if he just said cars straight up, obviously it's metaphorical in what he means it for. Well, I guess it would technically be an analogy, but regardless, he is the Michelin star bar, which I thought was dope. They got Jay against someone with a Tyson bite, but he doesn't know he'd be doing me a favor to save me from the voices I hear at night. That was fire. Imagery, too. Real big on the imagery. Pure rapping all throughout this. He's hitting little clever lines in between, and really going to this overall message about kind of his place in battle rap, right? He says, gods are ducking me. Every time I come to the table, they hide my chair. So he's kind of addressing not getting maybe bigger matchups that he wants because people are ducking him. The drama that's all throughout the culture. I mean, a lot of this breakdown is breakdown of the gossip that he says the all-time greats flock to, and how the drama and ridiculousness overtakes some of the more important things in the culture. Talk about people being in spaces with sex offenders, you know what I'm saying, and different rapists, because there is people in this culture that got a crazy jacket. I saw a Battle Truth, you know what I'm saying, up on a StreamYard. That's like what are we doing? So I don't think it's always like, oh, the whole culture is all all a part of this. You know, you could be as dramatic as you want with it, but it's no question this year that there has been more drama and gossip dominating the news cycles, and that is part of the course. That's never going to fully go away in terms of being a lane of content, but dominate it more than some of us would like it to, right? It's always going to be part of the game, but it shouldn't be the game. That's kind of what the debate is. So he obviously gets very into that, and those that are passionate about that topic are going to resonate with a lot of this part of the round, and I think he executed it very well. I do this for the blue-collar players that come back home late to a cold dinner. I thought that was fire. The blue-collar ballers? Work shifts, so no one, people working double work shifts, so no one says their clothes don't fit. So obviously, message delivered around, right? Talks about the culture being dead in 20 years, which is, you know, we'll see about that, Jay. And then he has the bill collector. But you mad a bill collector took your money? Well, bitch, welcome to adulting. So once again, a round that has a lot to unpack when you're breaking it down. Not as much in Madflex, but the bill collector haymaker hits crazy at the end. And then Madflex is a good third of his own. The Hot Ones bar is dope. The pool scheme bar, definitely more in the straight line for line side, still in the third. You being good should just be normal in life, but with you, it's just a roll of the dice. So the crowd had to guess who my opponent was twice, guessing it on a blackout and guessing the version of Jay that would perform. I thought that was fire. Just check your Twitter after I kill you. They'll see X's where a wing used to be. That was pretty dope as well. So don't win the battle, win the war. Do what you did tonight and do it 9 more times. I like that by Madflex. That's really what it comes down to with Jay. Can he build off this consistency? Obviously, you have the ability to make a fire battle here. Can you still make 4 or 5 of these in a year's time? Can you still go on to be the Jay that is supposed to be a top-tier battle rapper in his culture? Because there's just no question about it. His work was right there. I think he did choke versus Av on Gnome. If he doesn't choke, he probably beats Av on Gnome. I still liked his third a lot more. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But that's besides the point. You know what I'm saying? You shoot yourself in the foot, which is a big part of what's going on with him. Great run of the UM30. Absolutely tortured Shotgun Shug. Bodied Shotgun Shug. Beat Twerk on his return back for Volume 7. I mean, you could just go on and on. There's so many reasons that for Jay to be great, and I think Madflex does especially a good job in this third attacking. We know you're great. He works the whole you choke and right, you fuck up your resume and people's battles often, but in the third, I just think that's a great way of fully encapsulating it, where it's like you can do good here, but what does that really matter if you're just going to continue to not show consistency, and this is going to be another flash, right? So love that breakdown of it. And then gets into this a little more bar for bar to end. Your friends won't see night for months like Alaskan days, and then as well as the butterfly effect bar. So this third, I think Jay probably has, from the entirety of the round, he just has more in terms of like the impact of it, but a lot of it doesn't really have to do directly with Madflex. A pretty good amount does. So I'm not going to go as far to say that it's a clear round. I think it's a debatable. I think the third is extremely debatable. I think this battle, similar to Nitty and Ilmac, funny enough, comes down to how you judge the third round of it. I did have Jay taking the second clear, right? And this one I had Flex taking the first clear. And I am going to ever so slightly edge Jay the third. While I do think the range of kind of his round has some things I agree and don't agree with, right? Like I'm never, I know like all the way down. There is a lot of gossip and drama. I actually think that we've been doing pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Having a mix of actual battles over everything over the last 4 to 5 months. But Jay explaining why he took a year off, the things he sees in the culture, still think he has some good stuff at the beginning, right? Talking about what you mean to battle rap, the mechanic coming to fix the cars and things like that. I think that is fire. I'm not going to count that. Even though it's not exactly direct, it's still landing material. I think by the time that you hit when he's fully into the gossip and drama, and talking about I do this for the people who work to see their kids. There's obviously substance in that. It gets completely off topic, so I'm not mad at someone penalizing Jay for that and edging Madflex the third. I've seen a lot of Madflex 2-1s, as I should. I think it's that close of a battle. But for me personally, had Jay taking the second clear, and I really think he just put a bow on the third. Having the message, you still come back and have the bill collector and adulting bar, which to me was extremely fire. All wrapped amazingly. Just a really, really good battle overall. I think you look at what Jay the Nitewing and Madflex is, and you look at what Ilmac and Nitty is, and that really holds down day 2. And a card that I thought the other stuff on day 2 may have not filled in, those 2 battles were more than good enough. Stacked that on top of a great day 1, and you have a good like 5 to 6 extremely rewatchable battles from Blackout 8. Good battle. I had J2-1. And just dope for Blackout overall. It's probably gonna be the end of like my Blackout coverage as a whole, which is why I'm throwing the whole card's thoughts in there. Maybe do one more review from the card if y'all will let me know if there's a battle you want to see me review. Maybe wait until there's a YouTube drop and then go review that. But overall, it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Peace.